Well, we're on our way being live, I suppose. Oh, Scarlet Disaster says hashtag sus tactics. What did I ever do to deserve such slander? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Tonight I'm going to prove everybody wrong.
That's what you're going to do.
I'm going to literally prove everybody wrong tonight with my presentation, my PowerPoint presentation, trademark. Why I don't love Vladalina.
No, I don't think it's gonna work out.
Well, wow. You both of you are already. I see how it is, but you know, at the end of the day, here's the reality. I'm going to prove my innocence, and you guys are gonna have everyone gonna have egg in their face.
Oh, my name is showing up weird. Let me change it to see if I can, like, not make it look weird.
Oh yeah. There's not any proper spacing. It's very strange.
Mine's extremely long, but it looks nice.
Yours is extremely long, but looks nice.
Yeah, I know. I should have thought of that before I said that. My bad.
Well, welcome to the King of Anime podcast, everybody, where every week we talk about seasonal anime, and at the beginning of every season, like this week, is a new season. Or, well, when we start our new season. So, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of new stuff. Don't worry, after 86, we're going to be talking about Berserk and Odd Taxi. This is the start of what is called Hell Month for KOA. We didn't plan things out that well at all. So, we have 7 shows. We have 7 shows we're going to be covering including this week. And yeah, for 3 weeks. So fun for us. We may kill one this week. You don't know, but I mean, looking at the list, what could die here tonight?
Take your votes. Take your votes.
Indeed. While I'm going to create a poll for the first show that we're covering tonight. Co-hosts. Oh, I should say, actually, before that, how this show actually works. So if you're not familiar with the show, basically, like I said earlier, we lock in a bunch of shows every season, and we kill our past thing. So if it's killed, which takes 2 or more kills, we don't got to watch it anymore. It's off the show. It means it's terrible, which I don't believe that, but Satsuki may. And takes 2 or more passes to pass it, which means we love it and it's the greatest show ever, which I agree with. So with that being said, co-host, introduce yourself.
Well, hey there, howdy, hey, it's me, Everything Animated. I just want to say, Billy, I really don't know what to think of what you just said. He just said, I can tell you from experience, EA's looks very nice.
What?
He's talking about your long and nice thing.
Yeah, I figured, but Billy, I don't know you. Anyway, I mean, I know him online, and spelling is up to par. But as far as like this season, happy 3-year anniversary, everybody.
Oh, it's 3 years?
Yes, sir.
Wow, we are kind of where we are last time when we started off with watching like 8 anime.
Isn't that something?
Wow, that is true. It's only for like 3 weeks, but yeah. Wow. Ain't that a thing?
Yeah. And we have like the same people watching.
We have the same amount of concurrent. Yeah.
Yep. Billy's still watching us.
It's the same amount of concurrent, but we still got, new viewers and stuff. If this was last year, we'd be pulling in 100 concurrent. But
God, yeah.
AOT can't air every season.
Why don't you guys love Komi more? I mean, we can't do more. We're covering pretty much everything. Like,
yeah, pretty much. We're being basic normies. Satsuki, introduce yourself.
Hello, people. It is I, Satsuki the Savage. I did not condone the watching. Whoa. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
I heard it too.
top secret information. But
Hopefully it's not the whatever monster.
oh no.
The hentai monster?
No,
Somebody
the internet
bring up
monster.
hentai?
Not the.
I haven't had the internet monster since I was doing a podcast off my
Dude.
phone.
Dude, that was the Dororo era of KOA.
That was a fun time getting kicked out the streams occasionally. But yeah, I'm trying to chill this season, but with the amount of anime we're watching, that's not happening. Hell Month is an appropriate name for what we're doing. This is sellish. Like, I've gotten to a point where I don't like anime.
Oh no.
I mean,
It was a mistake.
are we all there at this point? You're on the KOA podcast.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You know, we're all watching relatively good anime. It's just, it's so much.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't really complain about. Well, I can complain about something, but
Yeah.
I can't really, like, as a whole. This season is probably like the strongest that we've watched out of all seasons, which is weird because we're in the fall and it never happens. So,
Right.
Like-
This is one of the greatest falls we've ever had.
Probably the best fall.
yeah, for sure, I would say it's the best fall season we've had. It's just a shame that it's. I wouldn't say oversaturated. It's just like overwhelming, I think. But we're professionals. We'll get through this.
That's right.
Yeah, of course,
the
as a
best.
reminder to everyone here, if you want to see the King of Anime podcast grow, you can like the podcast right now. Drop a like. It's pretty simple. And as well, you can share it out to all your friends and stuff like that. And tell them how cool KOA is. How funny we all are. Anyways, we should probably get into our first topic, which is Blue Period episodes 1 through 3. I thought this was a pretty cool start to the series. I actually really enjoyed watching these 3 episodes. I think before I locked this one in. This was my lock for the season, and you can tell that by our names there in the Tonight Show order. It has our names. Then that means we locked it. But I think I kind of sold this to EA as like a show that's kind of like Snafu. Now, I do want to make it perfectly aware that I've never seen or heard about this series until this season. But I've heard from many other people that this is like one of the better slice of life that's out there. So, I mean, based off the first 3 episodes so far, I am really digging the vibe of it. All the characters I think they're all in college. They're in art school. They're much more mature. And as well, some of the characters are just really interesting. I like how they don't sound like children. That is one thing that I noticed like almost immediately. They sound like actual adults. And I know that's a weird thing to bring up, but like you'll actually notice it in the show. Like they sound like it just doesn't sound like any other anime in terms of its voice acting, I think, out there right now, besides, like a Vinland Saga or something. Just really, really good voice acting all around. But what did you guys think about your first impressions on Blue Period?
Well, I didn't know what to expect. The fact that it was 3 episodes already launching, I'm like, oh, see, why you gotta pick this one? I did this years ago with Rewrite the D. And I thought we were going to experience something like that all over again. But I got to admit, I actually liked it. Well, anything's better than Rewrite the D. But yeah, this is very it's different because, yeah, like you said, there's a whole mature feel to this series. I immediately thought of you when it came to this series because there's a G-MILF in this show. And I was like,
I'm glad you said that. I thought I was the only one that thought that.
Nope. I was thinking it. I'm like, he's going to love the Gmilf, the teacher, the sensei, the art
Yeah.
Oh,
teacher.
absolutely.
I was like, why is she so attractive?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why did you
Yeah.
say that first, Satsuki? What the fuck? That's my thing. Well, you know
I mean,
what?
she is.
His mom is pretty cute too, so it's fine.
Everybody in this anime is pretty cute.
Yeah, everybody is
That's true.
drawn so adorably. Doesn't matter how tall or small. In fact, in the most recent episode, episode 3, wasn't there like an extremely tall lady who was like an instructor?
Oh, you're talking about she said her name, Uba. Uba, I
Yeah,
think.
that's her. She came in and she like her hands touched the top of the ceiling. I'm like, she is freakishly tall, and I thought of you, Satsuki, when I saw that. So
She was
I
pretty
knew.
nice.
Yeah, she was very nice. She was just trying to get the main character his drive for what he wanted to do. Yeah, I thought this was a very interesting show. I don't know. I don't have anything to really criticize it as of yet. I mean, I guess if anything, you could pretty much say it's the basic standard. Just, the main character doesn't know what he wants to do with his life. Apparently, he's really smart, and I guess this painting thing is going to make his life more challenging. So, okay. I mean, if that's what he wants to do, but he's grown from drawing pencil stick figures, and now he's doing pretty good for himself. So uh yeah, I thought that was very interesting. And I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't say about the one character, you know who I'm talking about, the blonde who's actually a man,
Yuka.
Yuka. I thought the portrayal of her character was very interesting, and almost like how almost perfect in a way, but then it was automatically ruined 2 seconds later. And why I say that is because uh she's a trap. But in this show, they were saying that she was, transsexual. She's a man. And you know, I feel like anime, they kind of, it just depends on the show. Sometimes it's just like they dress a certain way. It's like, oh look, they're so adorable, let's dress them up, be cute. But no, they were going a very serious tone with this one, and I like that. And just the internal struggle of just how she was rejected by that one guy. She was saying, if I was born a woman, she wouldn't, or he wouldn't have done that to me. And I was just like, wow, I really like that approach. But like I said, then 2 seconds later, the next scene, she's just like, just kidding, I'm with this other guy, so it's all good now, and nothing's bad, and JK. So
Well,
Well, do you think that's because of a time skip?
I feel like that was more so of like her coping, if anything, like trying to move on quickly to the next
That's a
person.
good point.
I don't
yeah,
think I don't think that was meant to just throw what we got before that scene under the bus. I definitely think that's going to be taken more serious as we progress in the series, when we get more focus on her, because that was kind of like a bombshell in the episode, because it's not like that episode was focused on Yuka. It kind of just, we saw that she was going out with this one guy, and then what is the main character's name? Yataro, right?
I can't remember.
Yatora. um he just saw her crying in public, and then he tried to comfort her, and that's how we got the plot line of her actually being born a man. So it's not like the episode was focused on that. I believe there will be an episode that focus on Yuka, so I don't think that's the last that we'll see of that. So I think when we saw that scene of her, kind of like moving on very quickly, I think that's just her method of trying to get over it quickly, get over that heartbreak.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was taking it back. Like when I was reading the subtitles, I went, hold on, did that just say what I thought it said? Because to be honest, I totally didn't even know that Yuka was a man. Like that's the thing that just surprised me. They might have said it and I wasn't paying attention. That I mean, I know that the main character and her were very friendly, so they knew each other in the past. So I just assumed that they were really good friends. But I did when I saw that, I went, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
She a cutie
They
though, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Yuka's very cute. They definitely tried to like fool you into thinking Yuka was a girl just because like I remember like the scene where she asked I don't know why I can't remember the main character's name. Yatora. When she would like called him to go to the club or whatever, like
Crying in the
his
club.
friends crying in the club. Um, his friends when she called him in to go to the club or whatever, his friends were like teasing him basically. You know, like, oh, your girlfriend is calling you to the club. You know, and they probably obviously didn't know that Yuka was born a man or anything like that. But again, that's the show was definitely trying to lead you in that direction into thinking that Yuka was born a woman. I mean, like even her attire, at first we saw her wearing her skirt, but what's interesting is like in the latest episode, she was wearing like the male blazer, but also the skirt. So I thought that was like,
Oh,
a way of like kind of confusing you.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
just like I just like they gave her a serious tone and they presented her well, because in a lot of anime it's either you're highly over sexualized like Astolfo from Fate Apocrypha, or you're a laughing stock. So
Hmm.
I like that they took the middle road approach here and they just, treated her as any other character. But as well, I do want to talk about a little bit of the main character, Yaguchi, as I'll call him. That's easier for me. Uh, he's really interesting. I like how he initially doesn't like art, but he slowly starts to really get into it and fall into it and enjoy it and want to get better and better. And there is something so just amazingly rewarding about this show and this character, seeing him go to these different like these teachers and learn different things from them to overall improve his standing as an artist. um I also like how he looks up to, I believe her name is Mori, who's like this like short. She's like so short, by the way. Like she's
Hmm.
must be like 2'3". Like she's like minuscule, and he like really looks up to her, and she actually looks up to him.
Or down.
Or well, yeah, I guess he looks down at her. She is really short. If you haven't seen the show, like not even joking, like she is insanely short. But I like how they're both like they see each other as like these great like artists, like they like want to be inspired by, and they both look to each other to kind of gauge how good they are. And the reality is that they're both new and both starting out, and they're not that great, in terms of where they want to be.
Yeah. I think what like really set things off, like there's a lot to say about I guess I'll follow the C approach and call on Yakuchi, because yeah, Yotaro is kind of beating my ass. But Yaguchi, let's start from the beginning, because he wants to go to art school, but the issue is that it's not practical in the sense of being rewarded with money immediately, and then two is like your chances to get into the school that he's trying to go to, I forgot the name exactly, are very slim. So he's dealing with a lot of people who are prodigies, who are like uh super hard workers, and he's kind of new to the field, so he's already behind the eight ball in that sense. So when you look at a character like Mori senpai, and he looked up to her, and then it's like it kind of like the tension is really set in, because he looks up to Mori, but Mori isn't even close to being one of the best. Now she got into the college that she wanted to go to,
Fair.
but yeah, she said she was like 5th from last. So like
Mhm.
that's pretty crazy for your idol to be in that spot to where she's not even close to being one of the best. So that already sets you up for Yaguchi being someone who has to learn a lot if he wants to be in the upper echelon of artists and just people who are been like bred to it. We got some character, I forgot exactly what her name is, but it might have been Maki. Um she
The one
came
with
from like
the 2 sets of hair.
yeah, like the
Yeah,
two-tone
that's
hair.
her.
Yeah, she
Mhm.
came from like a family of artists. So like that's what I like that he's facing a lot of challenges. Then we have the other guy who's shaping up to be a rival, Takahashi. So like already you're having a dilemma of him having to overcome a lot to get to the right spot and get into the college he wants to go to.
Freaking Takahashi, his plaid shirt alone makes it. He looks just like how I would picture someone who to be really good at art would look like. He looks just like that. That when I saw it, I'm like, this guy's gonna be really good. Sure enough, yeah, yeah. You see those people all over college campus. They look just like him.
With the bowl cut and everything.
Yep. They just be walking around and be like, yeah, I'm kind of a big deal. All these character designs have very unique looks too. Even that one dude who's like really tall with the pigtails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They seem
I'm
like
just like, whoa.
real college students in, in some city in Japan. Like they
Hmm.
they look pretty good. Um but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
any final thoughts on these 3 episodes?
The
Um,
the granny for the win.
for sure. She's definitely a gilf.
Hmm.
Well, I will say this because I kind of read a little into the manga, just skimming things. Because one thing that worried me about the show is pacing. I wasn't sure like because we kind of went far into the future. Because like from the first episode to the second episode, we're already like first episode we're going to this club, and then like the second episode we're about to go into the main character's third year. So I went into the manga to see if the pacing was similar, and it is. Is some things are omitted, and that just comes with adaptations. But for the most part, like they still keep the same pace as in terms of like when he goes into these new spots and the time skips that happen, because they don't really like give you a sense of time explicitly, so you kind of just got to pick up the cues that, oh shit, we're kind of like months into the future, or a couple of weeks have passed and whatnot. um that's probably like my only
Oh,
criticism
there
of it.
she is.
She's great. She is great.
I love.
um
Yeah, she's pretty great. I like how they called her crazy initially because she talked about drawing boobs. Make sure to capture the, the jiggliness of it.
First, that was a great quote. But another thing that was kind of like omitted just from me skimming is like if you remember, a lot of the students were actually kind of scared of her, but I don't think the anime portrayed that right. Just from what I skimmed in the manga, they at least like showed like some of the very like blunt criticism she had for her students that they don't really show in the anime, because we didn't really get that.
Satsuki,
Yeah.
Satsuki's having a party in the background.
Yeah, a lot of things are going on,
It's because
unfortunately.
it's because of the game, isn't it?
Yep.
I knew
I
it.
don't know why, because they're getting their ass beat, so I don't understand what but all right.
So yeah, EA got any final thoughts on the episode?
um, I mean, nothing really too much more to add. It's just really interesting approach. This is a huge slice of life. Everything's very chillax. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with the main character and all the other different characters. I almost feel like it's going to become the main character trying to get into, I guess, what's Tokyo University of the Arts, and that he's not going to get there. Like he's probably gonna come up with a decision of if he wants to keep going, or if he just wants to do what's safe versus what's more adventurous, kind of with
Yeah.
his mind. So I'm thinking that he's not going to end up getting into it because this guy recently just started versus people that have been doing it their whole lives. I really don't see him getting in. And to be honest, I would appreciate it more if they did that. Like it just shows one of those, you took on something, you tried, and if you fail at this, you shouldn't let that get you down, because if you really want to do it, you can try it in another way, or you can try again next year.
Yeah. The starving artist type of approach to his character would be very interesting, because
Yeah.
that would call to question his resolve when it comes to art. Like, how much do you really love it? Do you love it to the degree that you will sacrifice making money immediately over your passion? That's an interesting question to bring in real life too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, killer pass. I think this is easy. This is a pass.
Yeah.
Fucking dead.
Easy pass.
No, I'm passing it.
Well, audience seems to agree. Out of the 17 polled votes from people in the chat, 76% chose to pass, 23% chose to kill. I guess 23%.
So I can beat your ass.
23% didn't like the G-MILF.
What is 23% out of 17 votes? Is that like 3 or 4?
That's a good question.
I don't want to do the math.
I was born in America, sir. I don't know basic math.
No, I'm doing the math. Here I go.
It has to be 3 or 4, right?
I mean, I suppose. But the next show
Yeah,
on our list,
3.
on our roll here, is Takt OP Destiny, aka Fate Stay Night. Almost literally in terms of staff. Done by Mappa and Madhouse. With music this time, lots of music, and Zero Two.
Freaking, this
Where
is
does
my
Zero
choice.
2 come from?
She looks like Zero Two.
Oh, okay.
You think so?
Yeah, like a combination of Saber and Zero Two.
I guess he does in a way. But now, if you want a show that's the complete opposite of Blue Period, where, Blue Period's very story driven, this is very spectacle driven, and it's,
hell of a spectacle.
it is so beautiful. So, the first episode was completely done by Madhouse, and the second episode that comes out tomorrow is going to be all done by Mappa. So, it's going to be interesting to see and compare and contrast, but so far, Madhouse just killed it with the animation. It was just like, just I don't know. It was just really neat. Story wise, you got it's these weird alien things that are just took over the world because they hate music. They're a bunch of
it's Symphogear
from a school.
It's literally the plot of Symphogear, like literally.
It's funny because they only are attracted to like good music. So like, imagine like you're a SoundCloud rapper and you start rapping and like nobody's. You're thinking like, oh shit! After I drop this, they're gonna come to my house, and you drop it and like nothing happens. You're like, oh shit.
I could just see that too. They're just like, why is nobody coming to my house? It's okay. Just keep doing you.
I mean, it's a good gauge to tell if you're making good music or not. I guess that's the silver lining.
Right.
So EA, why did you lock Takt OP Destiny?
The reason why I locked this one was because it seemed the most interesting to me. First of all, Madhouse and Mappa animating this freaking show, I said, hell yeah, count me in. And I don't know, it just seemed unique. Like pretty much the definition of anime is that you could pretty much make anything into an anime, and this is one of those series where I could see if it gets like really popular and it does very well, people would cosplay as these characters, and it could be like a crowd favorite,
Man, those
but
Kazette cosplays, they're gonna happen.
and just think if you were you know, an amputee and you wanted to like be in an actual cosplay, you could be legit the conductor, the main dude that like all he likes to do that's all he likes to do is just talk about music. He's like, "Man, I love music. I love some music so much. I want it to do me. It's so good."
And it's great. And that's all he
Mhm.
cares about. Like
Right.
like Anna is like doing her whole spiel. She's like, why is like nobody listening to me? Because both Kazette and this and oh god. Well, they basically call him the conductor, but he has a
Right.
Takt is the name of the show. Uh like Takt is like he just doesn't give a crap about anything. And Anna is just like so pissed off all the time. Anna is like their driver, by the way.
Right.
And it's
And,
it's
and
so
like
funny.
she has a sister and they're going to New York at some point.
Yeah.
It's just all stories just all over the place.
No, it feels like it's point A to point B. That's really what this story feels like with some supernatural what am I saying? I can't speak English. Supernatural
Supernatural.
elements from like Sympho Gear sprinkled in here and there. It feels a lot in that sense, like the alien stuff, like Blood Blockade Battlefront, which if you haven't seen that show, oh my god, what are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. See, you tell me.
Scarlet says, "For me, this is the anime Vivi, but with personality." It's a good point. That's a good point. This is
very good comparison.
yeah. I immediately love this way more than Vivi.
Yeah, same.
It's funny because like my score is not really far off from Vivi because I give Vivi like a 6 or something. I gave like the first episode of it. It's early on a 7, but like it's a good 7. Like I had fun with it. One of my favorite moments was with Destiny. I think that's her name.
You can call her Cosette too.
Oh yeah, Cosette. That's yeah. Um, she was telling the conductor like, okay, we have we have this many enemies in a way, blah blah blah. We have to get to them before we can get to New York. And he's like, okay, go ahead, do it. And then she goes to do it, and then she's just like, I failed, like very blankly. And then they just had to redo the shit over again.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I like the
she's
replay
like, I
they
fucked up.
did. Because like the animation for it was very like American cartoon. Like it looked really really good within the context of this show. We actually have Adam Sandler in the chat. Happy Gilmore. He says,
Oh no.
"Oh, the OP makes more sense now. Stands for opus in music, and it kind of works in this context."
Oh, that is really cool.
Didn't catch that at all. I mean, I'm a fan of classical. Whatever. I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
Whenever I see the words OP, I just think of opening.
Yeah.
I think of
same.
overpowered. I play too much
Know
Call
that.
of Duty.
Freaking. You think Cassette's name is like cassette player?
I definitely think it's a play on that.
I mean,
I for sure think it's some play on that.
There has to be some kind of music, like play on words with a lot of things that are going to be happening in this show. I'm sure.
Yeah.
oh, absolutely.
I just love how they
Absolutely.
have a piano in the middle of nowhere. They
I like how
have
it
any
says "play
signs
me."
saying, it says "play me." I'm surprised they don't have signs saying "don't play me." You know,
Right.
you like that movie? Shit, it's a recent one. Oh my god, I hate when I draw a blank like this.
I know it sucks.
It's a silent movie. Well, it's not a silent movie, but it's like called A Quiet Place. That's what it's called. It's a horror film where they're supposed to be like quiet the whole time because if they make too much noise, these monsters are gonna come and kill them and whatnot. You would think that the same rules would apply in this world. It's like don't play any music because if you do, these creatures are gonna come around and they were just kind of like minding their own business, just doing like marketplace stuff and doing like it's like, oh, no big deal. Oh, there's a piano in the middle. Yeah, go ahead, play it. I just
Because I
thought,
kind of uprooted the whole thing. Just took the whole thing with them.
right, that was even crazier. She's just like, I'm gonna borrow this later.
So earlier in the show when we were talking about Blue Period, there's some people that commented about the show. Dark North Emperor said, I withhold both negative and positive opinions on Takt. It's too early to tell. I like to be hyped, but it also gives me the detective is already vibes, so I'm gonna be skeptic for now. Have you guys seen that show? What he's talking
Nope.
about? I've never heard of it.
The detective
Nope.
is already vibes? No, I don't think I've seen that one.
He also says,
Nor have I heard of it.
his more recent comment, despite being a skeptic, there's one thing that really bugs me. This show has the stupidest transformation sequence I've ever seen.
It does?
Really? This show?
I don't think
I thought
so.
all the animation was brilliant. Like, all the transformation scenes were sick. I thought, anyway.
Is what it is.
But, I mean, if they're talking about the fact that his arm disappears, I mean, maybe that could be considered dumb. But other than that, I don't have a problem with it.
I mean, I think this show is supposed to be over the top in its nature. I
do
think
too.
it's supposed to. It's not supposed to be like this show that is grounded in any sense of the word. It's supposed to be two of the best studios right now, Mappa and Madhouse, along with staff from like UFO Table and like some people that worked on the Heaven's Field 3 film, which is pretty much UFO Table's like biggest work ever. Working on an anime series together. Like it's like if anybody here is a fan of wrestling, it's like the 2-man power trip. It's insanity. It's like you're supposed to look at it because it's just this massive spectacle.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I just want to get into the plot briefly. Like, what do you guys think will happen? Or I'll ask this. What do you think is like the end goal? Because we're going to New York, but why exactly?
New York.
Oh my god, if they get to New York and Jazz does not play, like New York Jazz, I am going to be mad. Because when they first showed New York in Blood Blockade Battlefront, that's like the first thing they played is like bebop and like New York Jazz. It was some really cool shit. So I hope when they get there they do that. But I think my theory is that when they get to New York, it's just going to be a stopgap for what is going to be probably the introduction to the real main threat of the series, which is probably just going to be, you know, the aliens that invaded. And I don't think anything, I mean, they could have like villains in this, but I think this is just going to be just like how Symphogear is, because it's basically just Symphogear with a way higher budget. I think it's just going to be them fighting nameless monsters, and you get to watch them blow shit up.
Yeah.
So you think they're going to reach New York before the end or the last episode?
Yeah, I think probably next episode or episode 3.
Okay.
I think it's going to be like an Inuyasha type where they travel from town to town or village to village, and then they just destroy the monster of the week, pretty much, and it's just like cool badassery. I nominate this already for fuck shit award, you know, this season.
It's going to have some fuck shit, that's for sure.
It really is, this particular series, but I don't know, I think maybe towards the end they finally get to New York, and it's gonna have to do something with Anna's sister. I'm calling it right now.
I know,
Anna
yeah.
has an older sister, and they're gonna meet her older sister, and she's gonna be like the leader or something. I don't know.
I think the sister of Anna is going to help them, like, with something. Like, they're going to give them something that they need.
Right.
So I have here in my notes from last week when I watched the episode initially, that they're going to the Symphonica, or I think is what it's called. I hope that's what's right in my notes. To repair Cosette. So Cosette's got something wrong with her, so they got to literally repair her, I guess.
They have to fix the cassette?
They got to fix her. She's broken.
The issue is they said that she exerts too much power, so she has like no control over her. So she has to like fine tune herself to where like she doesn't get exhausted in every single fight that she's in.
Yo, Light Ruler just called me sus tactics. Satsuki.
With
Kennel Master Satsuki.
with
Can we give Light Ruler a shout out so that he doesn't call me sus tactics?
what does one have to do with the other? What the
I agree with that. I don't know what else. He just called you sus tactics, and you know why that is.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not-
fix yourself.
I don't have to fix myself, buddy.
All right.
I'm fine, okay? I don't love vladalina. I'll prove it later in this episode when we talk about it when I have my PowerPoint presentation. Sorry. PowerPoint presentation. Even Lightning Eagle is doing it.
Let the court show that me and EA said nothing about Lena.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh my god.
Did nothing.
Oh my
Oh, and Cassette was impressed by, or she was distraught because of donuts having a hole in them.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
right.
That's not important, but I found it funny.
That was pretty funny. She's like, I find this thing rather disturbing, not having a hole in it. It's like, would you like the donut holes? She'd be the one to take the donut holes and try to fit it back in.
Her exact words were, "How could such a flaw be permitted?"
I love her lust for food. It's fantastic. It's all sweets too, because of course she's an anime girl.
Because yeah, right, exactly. That's all they live off of is sweets
And they don't get fat.
or diabetes. That's
Yeah,
probably
they
what's
should
wrong with her,
They should have some cavities at least.
right? Any holes? Nothing. Yeah, freaking. That's probably what's wrong with her. She got diabetes.
Yo, we just hit 30 concurrent viewers. What the fuck?
Snaps.
When's the last time that happened? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. If you're new here,
It's been a while.
yeah.
I think it's
If
because
you're
of your. I think everybody's ready for your PowerPoint. I think that's what it is.
that's what it is. Everybody,
Just
okay.
gearing up.
Oh, you're gonna get it all right. Yeah, she had the whole Shinobu thing with the donuts. It was great. It was cute. Any final thoughts on this episode? I don't know what else there is to say about it. It's the big.
Yeah, nothing really. I'm just looking forward to the next episode. I don't think this is going to be a show to take very seriously, but I think this is going to be a very fun show. You know, anime doesn't always have to be serious 24/7. Sometimes you have those shows where it's just super fun, and I think this is a show that's just it's going to be that. It's just going to be super fun and entertaining, and you don't have to think much about it. You just kind of sit back and watch.
Yeah, I think this show is going to be like the most impressive visually out of everything we're watching. I don't think it's necessarily going to be the best thing when it comes to like how we feel about the plot and the characters and whatnot, but I think it's going to be decent in the areas that it lacks. So I feel like this is probably not going to be a show that will drop. Yeah, like EA said, I think it's just going to be a fun experience for the most part. So looking forward to it. The plot is interesting enough, and it has a decent amount of comedy, so it's cool so far. I like it. Pass.
All right, yeah. I give it a pass as well. I mean, this is Fate Stay Night Light with Symphogear and with the plot of Symphogear. One of my favorite shows. So, hell yeah, super pass even. But I guess we should move on to our next show, which is Satsuki's only lock of the season, which is Komi can't communicate. So Satsuki,
Hi.
you read the manga for this, right?
I read the manga for this. If anybody's been in my server, they have seen me very distraught over Komi chapters, and not distraught in a good way. Like, I'm not distraught because like, oh shit, I gotta wait another week for Komi. It's distraught in as fuck. I had to read this chapter again, but early Komi is good. Early Komi is good. But I want to be on record and say I made a video about Komi-san actually, and not to promote that video, but I just want to highlight what I said in that because this was before Komi's anime got announced. And not that I was doubting whether Komi would get an anime, but I was doubting how how great the transition from manga to anime would be. So far in episode 1, it looks good. I'll say that. But I don't think it's as great as what the manga is because I feel like Komi-san just benefits from the manga better than the anime. Now, the anime did a couple of things to make the show interesting and whatnot. But ultimately, I feel like when this show just like goes further in its episodes, we might start to get fatigued with it. And again, I think that plays more so to the format of it being better in a manga than the anime. But just talking about its anime and its and what it actually did, it was pretty good. The first episode was really good. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but it properly portrayed Komi's anxiety and like her nervousness in interacting with other people, and how is like comically misinterpreted by other people because like even a teacher, like when she got called on to read a passage or something, she didn't say shit, and then the teacher was like, damn right, you're so right, Komi. I didn't think of it like that. Like, it's like that to where like she doesn't have to say anything for like the plot to move forward because people will just think that her silence is the greatest thing ever. So like the plot is very wacky in that way. But again, it showed that Komi is a very misunderstood person. That's the best way to describe her.
So, I forgot to mention, but put up a poll for Takt OP Destiny episode 1. Once again, 25 people voted this time. It went up from the last poll. So that's nice. Thanks, guys. 72% passed, 28% killed. So around the same margin of error. But yeah, no. Komi-san Can't Communicate episode 1. Really enjoyed it. I didn't really know, going into it, what I was going to think about it, because I haven't even touched the manga ever. I think at one point I was going to start reading the manga because I thought that it would never get an anime. But here we are. They got one. And it's... What studio is it by? The one that did Berserk, right?
I got it.
OLM.
It's from OLM.
Yeah, so the studio that did Berserk 97, Pokemon, and Odd Taxi.
They did Odd Taxi too.
We're covering 2 of their shows on this podcast later on as the closing segments. So that's kind of crazy how the studio is still relevant, and their animation is way better than what they did on 97 for Berserk. So good on them. But as for the contents of the episode itself, really enjoyed Tadano. Thought he was a pretty nice character to move the plot of the first episode along. I like the twist at the end where the reality hasn't quite set in because they don't really know yet, but every single person in this school that they're going to is really talented. One of them is dressed in a suit of armor as a knight. Like, what's going on there? Like, I have no idea. As for Komi herself, she's the star of the show. She's cute. I think it's interesting how everybody just thinks she's the greatest thing ever, even though they've never heard her really speak. And I like her issue that she has such bad social anxiety that her voice is like this weak whimper. I also think it's really cute when she tries to speak and all you hear is just it's almost like a machine gun. Like the voice acting for her is simple but really funny. So I thought overall I mean, wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen. I put it in like the same category as like Takt OP Destiny or something, where it's not that this, is it better than Blue Period off the first episode? No. Is it better than 86 off the first episode? I don't think so. So yeah, based off the first, impression stuff, it's pretty good. I enjoy it.
So I went into this only ever seeing those, I guess, manga portraits of whenever you see Komi's face when she's got those really giant eyes and she's got the really small mouth and it's got the cat ears. Like, she just looks so funny whenever she looks like that. They did that a couple of times in this episode, and I was just wondering where they were even going to go with this, because you had the basic, oh, everybody's just staring at her and just liking her just because she's pretty, because in Japan no one can go 20 seconds without telling someone how someone's pretty. In an anime, apparently, just, oh, look at her, she's so cute. No. I was wondering how they were going to kind of use that whole crux of hers where she just can't speak with other people, and I got to admit, I think they did a really good job with how they pulled it off the last bit whenever it was her and Tadano, and how they were talking back and forth on the chalkboard. I was just like, that is so sweet. That is just so, like, there's something just innocent and just happy-go-lucky about that, and I don't know. I was just captured by that. I thought that whole scene was just really neat, and yeah, I I agree with you, SeaTactics. Like, there's a ninja in this show that just showed up out of nowhere. I'm like, why is there a ninja? At the very end, that's when it explained everything, and it was just like, apparently this is a school. What is this, like X-Men in a way, where there's just
I guess
everyone has powers.
It's so awkward. I feel like the biggest first I want to say hi to Holographic in the chat, because he said, say hi to me, you cowards, in all caps.
Oh, hey, Hollow.
So hi Hollow. And hi, Light Ruler. Hopefully that appeases you. But I feel like the greatest strength of the show is also its weakness. And I say this as a manga reader because, like, there are so many characters with eccentric personalities and they're so, like, weird. But I also feel like they're gimmicky in a way to where, like, they just are one note and that's all there is to a character. Like the ninja that you're talking about, like, it's not like he evolves from being a ninja. Like, that's all you really get from him. He's a fucking ninja. That's it. Like,
Wow.
you get like a
whoa.
lot of diverse
Satsuki.
type of characters, but you don't
Satsuki.
really get a lot of
I hate to
depth
interrupt
them.
you, Satsuki. I hate to interrupt you, but you got to do your job now. Somebody on Twitch named Big Booty Eater 666 said,
Oh my god.
"Hold on, guys, can I get a shout out?"
His name is Big Booty Eater 666.
There you go.
No.
There's your shout out.
You don't. Oh my god. I'm saddened that I even said that. You don't deserve a shout out though. What type of name is that?
He's
How
a
did
big
you
booty
allow
eater.
that?
The dude is like probably 13 years old.
It's
He
probably Light
says
Ruler.
fuck every other. He says fuck every other word. Hey, fucking guys, how you fucking doing, mother?
What's that guy from Jujutsu Kaisen that likes big butts?
Oh, that's Itadori and
Yeah.
and him as well.
There
Yeah.
you go. It's probably him.
Yeah,
It's
you both
Itadori?
love Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes. Big Booty Eater 666 confirms his identity as who I thought it was. It's me, Light.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Tomoya said every student in a school is a pun of a Japanese word. That is pretty accurate.
Really?
Yeah, I can't really say any character because they haven't really introduced anybody. except for like Tadano. But once we get into the characters like next episode or whatever, I'll tell you like what their names means and like how it works to their personality. I don't want to spoil anything yet, so I'll lay back on that. But yeah, a lot of their names when you get introduced to these characters have meaning to their personality. So that's interesting.
I agree with Lightning Eagle. You need to start charging for these shout outs, Satsuki.
Maybe I do. I don't know why. I don't know why people want a shout out from me of all people. I'm like the most like unenthusiastic guy on the podcast.
I love you.
I was gonna say, what's not to like?
Yeah.
We
You're
live in a society.
I mean, yeah, we do. You're the husbando of this podcast, Satsuki.
I would hope so.
Are you saying? See, are you saying that he is the daddy?
He's
of this
daddy.
podcast?
He's daddy
wanna-
Satsuki.
I wanna
Satsuki
be
the daddy.
Satsuki.
But
So I-
Papa Satsuki, you gotta tell us about when you were young.
Daddy chill.
Oh. When I was younger, I was fighting with zombies, getting to school. I had to hop on a fucking pogo with a sword on my back
Wow.
just to clear the way.
That's amazing.
It was hard. It was hard.
Good times.
Okay, so you guys think this is actually going to get like a season 2 or whatever? Or do you think this is just,
I
you know,
mean,
promotion for the manga?
Actually, that's a good point. I mean, is the manga still going?
Yes, it is.
Okay, this is just gonna be something to get people to read it then.
Well, if there's an announcement of the Komi-San manga ending during this airing, then we know that this is not going to get a season 2.
Well, based on the where it's at now, the manga's not ending at least for another 50 chapters at least. So it could go way beyond that, but I don't even want to say that because I don't want to tell you where at what point they are in a manga, but yeah, they have a lot more story to tell. I'll just say that. I mean, like the plot of this really is to get Komi to make more friends. Like that's the entire plot.
She wants
So-
100 friends,
Yeah.
which I find to be interesting too, because how's she gonna get 100 friends when she can barely speak?
This is
I want to say therein lies the problem, now, isn't that?
this is like Bigata HK, but without the sex.
Oh my God, you've seen that one, right, Sasuke?
Unfortunately, I have not.
So
I
I'll
think
tell you
fortunately, maybe.
the story,
Really? Is that bad?
The story. Well, my girlfriend introduced me to it. The story in a nutshell, and I kid you not, the very first episode, I forget her name. She says that her goal, whenever she makes to high school, is that she wants to have sex with 100 men.
Oh my God, I've heard of this. I just didn't know the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of this.
You got a
this.
HK.
Okay. Yeah,
I think-
I got it.
I think Hollow's like that in real life.
Wait, what? What?
Nothing. Moving on.
Please tell me.
So, into the YouTube poll now. Any final thoughts on Komi-san can't communicate?
I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was really sweet. Maybe my attitude about it will change later on, but overall, I was impressed with the animation, and that scene alone made me like it when they were talking back and forth. But watch, the next one's gonna be like he accidentally like touches her hand and she just goes
That may happen.
and then she does her big eyes cat ear expression, which is so funny.
I'm okay with that.
It's like that scene that you were talking about, Sasuke, where like, all right, let's hear from from Komi-san. She just stands there and has that look, and I'm just laughing. But yeah, the teacher's like, "You're right, excellent point."
It kind of reminds me of One Punch Man, how like people give excuses to King for him not doing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh my God, his overwhelming presence has just killed me inside. He's looking into my soul." It's like, no, he's just fucking. He's the one that's fucking scared.
right. That was good.
But as for my final thoughts on the show, I said this last podcast. I hope you guys have your sins cleared up. I hope you properly repented. Episode 2 would definitely feature my favorite character, Najimi. And when Najimi comes into the plot, you better hope that you don't have any lingering issues or regrets in the past, because it is going to be Judgment Day when Najimi arrives. Be prepared.
Well,
All right.
I give it a pass with that ominous foreboding of a
I
slice
don't
of
even know
life
what that
show.
means. I just like saying that.
I'm passing it too.
I'll pass it.
All right. Well, the chat here, out of the 21 people that voted, 71% passed, 28% kill. Once again, still around the same margin.
Damn, when are we going to get 80% pass? Fuck.
I don't know.
Maybe this next episode.
Oh,
we will.
boy. Oh, let's. I don't know where to start. Let's talk about Mushoku Tensei. Holy shit! I have never seen a shit show this bad in a while.
Who wants to go first?
Ellie Nalise is easily one of the worst written female characters I have ever seen in my entire 10 years of watching seasonal anime.
Dude, like, I understand Gasoline was dressed a certain way, but she had some redeeming qualities about her that were great. I don't even know where to begin. Like, first, when they introduced her character, I thought, oh, that's her power. She like probably like tricks men. You know, she has like some kind of aphrodisiac effect on them and does something, whatever. No, she just likes to have sex with a bunch of men. And
That's it.
I was just like, that's okay. I was the opposite of what I was thinking it was going. But
Well,
yeah, I don't really know what to say about her. I mean, yeah,
She
she was getting
proposes.
information from them, but I guess at the same time, there's other ways to get information.
Yeah, through penis apparently.
I
It's
just wanna
apparently
say-
sexually transmitted. This information.
Oh my god.
I just want to quickly say with their character, I don't really have an issue with that.
Me neither,
and
me
her
neither.
being super sexually charged. It's the fact that they don't really add anything to her character. And granted, it's only been 2 episodes, but like, damn, like that's it. It feels like that's the only thing they'll try to do with her character. It's just that she's very, for lack of better terms, very loose. Like she just sleeps with a lot of men. That's
Yeah,
it.
her whole character is supposed to be. She's got this very like overtly and very openly slutty personality or whatever, and it's like that's not the bad part of it. That's that's fine. Like that's actually somewhat refreshing in the realm of anime, but the way they do it is like how they do Rudy's character, which is fucking annoyingly and over the top and constantly in your face, and to the point where you can't even like enjoy the other characters that are around them sometimes. Like Roxy, for example. Like, by the way, Ellie Nalisa's line when she's fucking that goblin or whatever, where she says, "Want to join in, Roxy?" I could not believe that the person that wrote this thought that was a good line. That's like something you put in a porno. Like that's porno quality writing. Like,
Is there another way to pay for this pizza?
it's
Oh my
like,
God.
want me to clean your pipes? like it's you order pizza with extra sausage? Like, what are we doing here?
I have a package here for you. Could you please sign it right here?
A
On
little
my
lower.
crotch. A little lower. Tension lower.
And like, oh my god, this is gonna be such a weird 50-50 discussion about these two episodes, but because it goes back and forth with me. I don't know with you guys, but for me, it's like it feels like episode 12 was definitely the overall better episode. I have really had no complaints really at all outside of a couple quotes, but episode 13 was like the most 50-50 split this has ever been between just absolute terrible like garbage and like some really really decent solid storytelling that you'd expect from a series like Mushoku Tensei. It was mind-boggling the difference in quality from the first half to the second half, and I could not grasp it. It felt like it was two different shows in the same episode.
Yeah. Yeah, the first episode we had reintroduction to that, I guess it was like a god or something, and then you see Rudy's like true form whenever he was dreaming. And then we see a lolly who I guess is 300 years old, so that's fine.
God.
I mean, I had no complaints about her character. It was whatever.
I actually thought I was gonna hate her the most, but like her personality fits her zaniness, and I love that she was actually about to give herself up to Rudy and was just like, actually, you know what? I have a fiance this life.
Yeah, that was an interesting twist because that set up more stuff with her character beyond just herself.
Mm-hmm. And she had like 12 eyes, and she's just giving her eyes away free if you feed her, if she's like hungry. She's a freaking empress, but can't afford food apparently. I don't know how that works, but
Quick question about that. Do you think, as C calls her, gasoline has one of those eyes? Because if you remember, towards episode 10 or 11, we saw the eye that Ghislaine was covering up, and it was green. It was different from her the eye that we see that is visible most of the time. So do you think that she has one of those demon eyes, or
I mean, now that you mention that, because I totally forgot about that, she probably does. There's definitely, I would say it's very possible. I don't see why not.
hmm.
What if Paul's the fiance?
Oh my God.
God.
Please. I am so tired of him being like
Paul.
shoehorned into every single person's plot.
Like
Didn't
literally.
they even like shoehorn him with Roxy's crew too about
Yeah,
Paul?
they
And
all
they were
hated
like,
him.
We didn't like. Yeah, he probably slept with the elf lady, and even the freaking ogre, not ogre,
Tall-
dwarf too.
Talhan.
Yeah, he probably found a way. He's like, oh,
Thorbjorn.
so charming. I just have to. Oh yes, I'm gonna give it up.
Yeah. Apparently, like, Paul's like the most attractive male ever. He slept with everyone. Like, I feel like there's any female character you can name in the show that probably has slept with Paul, except for, like, probably Eris, and that's probably because he didn't meet her.
Maybe
Right.
maybe some male characters too. Like we do not know.
Probably.
That's what I'm saying. Freaking Gimli was like, I don't want to talk about it. I've had my fill with Paul. No pun intended.
Yeah, and that's like the gag of it. Like, everybody who's interacted with Paul hates him. I mean, even Rudy hates him to some degree, or he thinks of him as a scumbag. Like, that's the gag of it. But I feel like, this goes into a bigger point. I feel like the show jokes on things that aren't necessarily funny. And not to say that this is talking about a Paul situation, but it goes into the situation to where I feel like this show constantly drops the ball. And that's the issues with Rudy's character and him perving on.
They can't help it. That degenerate humor. They need that degen audience. Don't know why, but they need it.
It's not like, I don't see the humor in Rudy saying, "Oh, Eris has grown up." Like, like they click, like, and that's the thing. It's not like one of those things to where it's like ambiguous, or we don't know, or like the show doesn't try to make it more than what it is. It's like, no, he says she's 13 years old, and he talks about like how much he wants to fondle her or masturbate to her, and it's like that's not funny. Like I don't see the joke in it.
And it's
But
like it's
Satsuki, he's a little rascal. Don't you know that?
He's 40 years old.
well, yeah. Even then, though, like they've made it apparent within episode 13 that they're kind of like a friends with benefits thing going on. Like holy shit, just don't talk about it. Like I don't need to know that a mentally 40-year-old man is messing with this 13-year-old who has
Freaking when they were on the ship and he was like, she was seasick, and whatnot. He was even he was thinking about taking advantage of her while she was sick.
And it's
just like,
it's
disgusting.
It feels like the writers of this series and the author, I suppose, it feels like they have like this really humorous thing of Eris being seasick, because that's funny because she's like this girl that comes from this home or whatever. She's very inexperienced, and she goes on the boat, she gets seasick, and she's making these faces, and it's legitimately like just humorous. It's funny. And then they're like, oh, but what if we have Rudy be a total creepy pervert and try to play up the Rudy being, gropey for, on 13-year-olds? It's like, and they're probably thinking like they're in the boardroom with like their cigars, and they're like, they're cheering back and forth. They're like, oh man, we nailed it, we got it. They're gonna give us all the money. Our stonks split up.
Wait, see, can you do it in your Vince McMahon voice?
Why, that's such good shit, pal.
It sounds so much better in that voice.
Why don't we have Rudy grope Eris? But sir, I don't think it was. You're fired.
Vince, I gotta tell you something. I don't think that this is such a good idea. People seem to really like Eris' character.
They'll love it. They love it. When Rudy gropes the 13-year-olds, they absolutely love it. They loved it as much when I was ECW champion. They loved it.
I mean, do you not see how this is going to end bad for us? Maybe we should kind of
back
the reins on Rudy.
No, we can put John Cena in this.
Oh, he's gonna be a part of this too, huh?
Yeah, we can have
a triple threat match.
Yeah, pal. We can put John Cena, once in a lifetime, versus The Rock, versus Rodius, versus Eris. It'll be a WrestleMania.
Listen. the thing that was the thing that was keeping me up with this show, just in terms of me actually finishing it, because at one point I thought about just not finishing the show and just like bullshitting my way through the podcast talking about it. The one thing that kept me going with this show, watching it to its completion, is how will the guys react? How will EA react? How will C react? I want to know everything that happens in the episode, just so I can be informed enough to talk about it and to get all the references and everything. So it's like the podcast actually saved me from watching more of the show, because like in the first 50 seconds, the scene that we were talking about when Rudy was talking about how much Eris has grown or whatever, it's like 50 seconds into the show, he's already doing the shit that we were angry about in the previous season. I mean, this show was, if anybody is new to this podcast, this show was in danger of getting dropped in its first season because of some of the stuff they're doing in these 2 episodes. And it seems like they have not, they have not grown. They have not learned the era of their ways, because
somebody say era. The Attitude Era.
Oh my god. Wrong choice of words.
We had Steve Austin, The Rock. We didn't have John Cena. That's ruthless aggression.
Oh, Hollow is concerned for you. He said the fact that Ben is still on YouTube concerns me.
No, it's just a Vince McMahon impression. It's fine.
That's fine. It's fine. Um. Okay. Yeah. What I was going to say is the fact that they still have not learned that this is unfunny. I mean, it may be funny to some people, but I'm not in that group of people. So I'm just talking from my perspective. It's unfunny. I'm not going to lie. It's just disgusting. Like, I don't understand how they find this type of stuff funny. Like, what's funny about him being a pedophile? That's what he's doing. That's who he is. It hasn't changed from. It's not even like something to where like that's his past and he's grown from that. No, he still is that same person. And I'm supposed to root for him, or like I'm supposed to follow him as a character. I'm not saying that your main character has to be perfect or goody two shoes or anything like that. They can have some darkness to them or whatever. But honestly, like this is one of the lines that I don't even want to cross. Like I just can't bring myself to want to continue a show with this person as the main character.
Why is Hollow here?
Ben, are you okay?
I am. Yes.
fine.
What are
Okay.
you doing here?
That's all I'm checking in for. Have a good podcast, boys.
All right, later.
Thank you, Hollow.
This is.
I'm fine.
But basically, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, where is that one dude that was in the chat a long time ago that said he won't do that again?
Yeah. Well, we were told
They
like,
lied.
yeah, he would
I was
never.
gonna say, wherever you are, person who told us that Rudy's not gonna do that again, for shame, because he did it again. So now his ass is getting grounded.
So, Dire Magic says, I can't wait till this part of the story's over. Sick of people complaining about it. And I mean, I can get your frustration and all that. That's totally fine. But I do want to bring up just devil's advocate, argument here. Like this stuff is legitimately like creepy, and like normal people that aren't into anime and then the fandom in general don't like this stuff. And I am in the fandom and I don't like this stuff, just because there is something, in a series that is questionable like this doesn't mean that since you're a fan of it doesn't mean that you can't criticize it, or like doesn't mean that your show's, has to be this perfect thing that can never do any wrong. So, I mean, it is what it is.
I gotta call out the people in the chat because we have person Sid and FVA. First Sid's talking about Rudy never touched Eris.
He did.
FVA said, did he
I was
do
gonna
it
say,
physically?
yeah,
Whatever.
He did.
You did it.
She was asleep.
Listen, this is not real life to where we're prosecuting these people based on we're not prosecuting these people based on what they actually physically did. We can see their thoughts. They're speaking to us. We're seeing what's on screen. This is not like a court of opinion or anything like that. This is based on our enjoyment on the show. We're hearing what he's thinking. How can I like a character that's perving on a 13-year-old and like it's not even one of those situations to where it's like this is what we did like back in the day, or it's like medieval times. Like, no, he's being a pedophile. Like, that's who he is. I don't understand how you expect me to like him as a character. I don't care if he's never fondled her or whatever, and he actually did, like EA said in previous seasons. Like, he's tried to do that. So I don't understand like how you guys would even try to defend that. There's some things that are indefensible. Like, no, it's fucked up.
I think it's fair to criticize.
Yeah, it's a shame too, because this series, I feel like I like the world, and I definitely like some of the side characters, excluding a few here and there. But I think overall, the thing that brings it down the most is just the main character. And I was telling Sasuke this, like, if it was a story around like Eris or I you know, like Ruijerd, and basically that, you know, like they were the main focus, it'd be fine. But I don't know, there's just something when it comes to him that it just makes it that less enjoyable, and it just stinks because like the animation's great. You could tell like they're really doing really cool world building, but I don't know,
Yeah.
it just sits really wrong with me, and I, I hate to think that, oh well, maybe if we continue watching it it'll get better, and then, oh well, this was actually kind of cool, and then Rudy goes ahead and does something quote unquote mischievous again, and then just
Yeah.
everything's ruined again. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
They play it
Yeah.
off as like boys will be boys, and it's
Right.
Yeah, it's like they don't even like it's already bad enough that it exists, but then they try to play it off like this is comedy, this is a joke. It's not funny. I don't understand why this is in the show, period. But then you try to play it off as a joke, and then it's like, like I just I don't get why like they would even put this in there. Like I don't see like who this is appealing to at all.
The creeps.
I guess.
I think
I
it's
guess.
I think it's just the way he wanted the character, and I just think it's a miscalculation on his part.
And,
That's it.
and you know, it's a shame because I do want to say this. It's a shame because like EA said, like he talked about the animation and whatnot. Like there is good merit to the show. The show is not terrible.
Not
It's
at
not-
all. No, it's
Yeah,
great.
it's not bad.
Like overall.
This show, we haven't even talked about like we haven't talked about Ryujerd, we haven't talked about Eris in you know, as it pertains to like her actual character in the show. We just talked about how she was being an object of perversion for Rudy. We can't talk about these characters the way you would want us to talk about them because we have to talk about the elephant in the room, and that's these pedophile tendencies that we get from our main character. It's not something that we can ignore, sweep under the rug or anything like that. We have to address it. And it's going to take up the bulk of this show. We have more shows to get into, so we can't just spend an hour on Mushoku Tensei. We can't talk about the good shit because of the bad shit and how bad it is. This show has some good qualities to it, but it fucks everything up.
It's
Yeah.
just I think to sum it up, every time stuff like this comes up, we have like this whole rant, this whole thing about it because we like this show. We want to like all the characters. And it's really hard to like this show sometimes. Because I mean I guess we can go ahead and get into the good about this show because I think we've beat this kind of into the ground already. I think the audience is kind of tired of it too. Like I think they get the point. But so the later stuff, you know, the stuff that I guess we just haven't talked about is the stuff with Eris and Ruijerd, and the stuff in the later half of the most recent episode. So do you guys want to start with Eris or the stuff in the second half of episode 13?
Well, I mean, I guess we can go with Eris.
Okay. Well, I think Eris has really become like a really fine. Oh, my Vince McMahon was coming out there. Oh God,
Good.
Eris.
Calm
We're
down,
gonna-
Vince.
We're gonna book her in the main event of WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. No, I mean Eris was. I would say she wasn't in season 1. I liked Eris, but she wasn't like she didn't stand up to characters that I liked more, like Ruijerd or Gasoline or Ghislaine or whatever you want to call her. I like those characters a little bit more, but now that in season 2 the focus is now on a little bit more on Eris, she's really shining pretty bright in these episodes, in my opinion. I think she's honestly turning into a really phenomenal character that has a lot of really good and really solid writing. I think the stuff in episode 12 really shows that off pretty well. I think with her, now getting stronger and being able to actually land that hit on Ruijerd, I think that even though, Ruijerd was distracted by Roxy's presence, I still think that that is like a legitimate thing. And I think that is a really big turning point for Eris's character, like symbolically. And I hope for the rest of the season, what we see is Eris continue that development and be a very nice focal point of this season.
And it's funny you say that because like the highlights of Era's character is really her personality being toned down. It's like the less we get of Eris, not to say like the less screen time, but like the less of her like personality like bleeding out on the screen. It highlights like how much she's grown because she had a very strong personality, but now she's more down to listen to Rudy and like just fall in line because a lot of the time she would just act on pure emotions. I mean, she got the nickname Mad Dog for a reason. She still acts very impulsively, but you could tell from where her character started from, where it birthed from, she changed a lot in a positive way. She's a lot more open to listen to people, and we can appreciate her growth as a fighter and whatnot. So, like, yeah, Eris is a pretty cool character. She's not one of my favorites, but yeah, you could respect the growth.
Yeah, I think she's one of my favorites. I think so far, yeah.
Hey, Vince.
Yeah. What do you want, pal?
Ruijerd versus my client, the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah. Put him in the main event against Roman Reigns.
Oh, it just writes itself. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, what do you think about Eris, EA?
I think I never did a complete 180 for a character in my life. I absolutely hated her guts in the first season, but now I like her more than than pretty much most of the characters in this series. And I never thought I'd hear myself say that. She's grown a lot. She's become a powerful warrior. She's even learning to kind of not be as impulsive. And whenever she lost to Rudy with his eye that could see like so many seconds into the future, whatever. Though
Yeah,
she
was cool.
was gonna try to pull that shit where she was gonna like, I don't know, like slam him or whatever. She just kind of became humble in that point where she was just like, I need to be better.
Well, yeah. She like the great thing about that, and that's one of the reasons like why Eris became one of my favorites already in the season is like she loses and then she's smart enough to like give him that faint victory and still try to win. And then even then when Rudy, catches on to what's going on because he can see into the future for a second or two, he still wins, like puts her in a headlock and she just stomps off. But the next scene is like a really cool moment between the two, I think, that showed some of the best personality traits for Eris, and that is that the Eris of before, what we would see is her get mad and get all defensive and not admit defeat, even after being defeated. Yeah. But instead, what we get is Eris going, I need to get better because, Rudy, you're like, my goal is to be stronger or as strong as you are, and I'm not there. Even though she landed a hit on Ruijerd. Then that's crazy to me.
Yeah, and even though like Rudy had this god eye, and without that, obviously she would have won that. She's a lot stronger from what it appears. I don't know how far Rudy has progressed in his magic and whatnot, but it seems that Eris is in a one-on-one fight, she's not losing to Rudy in normal circumstances. But she didn't make excuses for the eyes. She just said that it shows you that when she goes to personal reflection rather than deflection, how much she's grown as a character.
Freaking Rudy. Then Rudy decided to challenge Rudius with the eye and got his ass absolutely handed to him.
Loved it.
Yep. Love to see it. Love to see it.
And
Continue on, Satsuki.
I was gonna say Ryujin is another character that is not necessarily that he's changed, but we saw in the latest episode especially that he is a character whose morals are being challenged because he's very righteous and he wants to eliminate all evil, any evil that he sees, but he has to hold back on a lot of things to get to the desired place he wants to get to. It's like the ends justify the means, but he's not a person that really truly believes that in that, but he has to for the sake of what they have to do, because
For the
you know
sake
they
of the
tried to get
mission.
onto the boat for the sake of the mission. But yeah, it's like, and it's kind of funny too. They tried to get on the boat, and I think they said like it's like 5 silvers for like humans, but then like for him, it was a crazy astronomical price, and then it's like, you know, with a price like that, we're kind of fucking screwed. We had to resort to some illegal means.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's kind of Rudy's fault too for introducing their adventure name as Dead End and whatnot, and the implications behind that, and people thinking that Ryujin is possibly fuck. What are their names? Fuck.
What?
It starts with the S.
Wait. Wait.
Susan?
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the demon race that he's from. Super.
Super. Yeah, super.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Susan race.
Susan race.
Do they have a Karen race as well? And a Todd?
I want to speak to the manager.
All right. Well, yeah, I think the stuff in the second half of episode 13 was just really well done altogether. And it really showed how much, you know, in my opinion, how much of like like Ryujin is that kind of guy where it's not exactly right to kill people, but he knows that these smugglers, based off what they did to these beast children, I mean, killed one of them. They're basically cat girls. I mean, that should be a sin. Like he knows like they have to die. Like there's no other option. And I like how he spares Rudy from that. Like he has the wherewithal to know that Rudy doesn't need that on him. And he uses the excuse of Eris, but the reality is I think he realizes that Rudy is still so this is confusing. Rudy as like the person that's in the world is still this child, but mentally in like a higher mind is like this 40-year-old man. It doesn't make any sense, honestly. They don't make sense of it, but in the context of what the story they're trying to tell at that point, I think it makes Ryujin look like a really stand-up swell guy, even though he's about to go and kill people. I also like the scene where he gets up out of a cell and he stabs the guy in the throat. That was a brutal scene. Brutal. Like, wow. It was just good. I thought the whole Smuggler's Den thing was just a really good scene.
It's just Rudy is still green to the scene. It kind of reminds me in the same way as that guy from Ray Seto. People may not notice about the main character of that show, but he is somebody that has still not technically directly killed someone. So that's something he has trouble with doing when it comes to one arc. So in the same way, Rudy hasn't killed anybody. Like he's indirectly got other people killed. Like when he got those kids, that one kid killed when he didn't want to help them to, you know, boost their appreciation for them when they swooped in and, you know, did their thing. but he's never like directly killed anybody. So that's something he's still being spared from with a character like Ryujerd. So I guess that's a question for the future. Like, is he going to have to kill someone eventually? Is he going to have to come to terms with that?
Yeah, that is. I think that's something we ran into with 2 Year Eternity as well, and I think that's such an interesting concept of like a character who hasn't killed before in this really dangerous world. Is he going to have to kill? Is there going to be a certain point where maybe Eris is in danger, maybe even Roxy or whatever, and he has to, or Ruijerd, and he has to make a tough decision to save one of his party members. I mean, that is such a compelling story that it would be a waste, I think, if they didn't go ahead and try to do that story sometime in the future. But any final thoughts on this episode of Mushoku Tensei before we move on?
No, I don't have any.
All right. I'm passing it.
So, Sasuke, you say.
I'm killing it.
Oh God.
First
Now
episode.
Now
Or
I'm the
first two.
one. Now I'm the one. Oh boy. I am curious to see what happens the next episode because Rudy's getting carried off, and I think Gasoline might actually be in the episode. They look like her. Those people.
They do, yeah. They
Well,
probably
those
come from the
people-
same race.
I'm holding off for her to show up in it. I'll tell you what. If she's not in this next episode, I'm killing it next week. No
My
matter how
God,
good
it's
it
not.
is.
It's. I'm gonna tell you right now, EA, she's not gonna be the next episode.
Well then, no, I'll wait till next week. I'm passing it for now. Sorry,
Right.
Sasuke.
I'm fine with it.
But next week.
Audience out of 47 votes, 74% pass, 25% kill, same margin.
More people.
No 80% yet. I thought this would get 80%, but I suppose not. So, next up, we're gonna, talk about,
I've been waiting on this.
I've been waiting. on this
86.
all day. I'm just gonna sit back.
Yeah, go ahead and
listen.
you had the floor, C.
what do you mean?
You know what we mean. Go ahead. Present.
What do you mean?
Present the evidence.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're on trial here, saying that you love Lena, and now you need to show us how you don't.
I'm trying to remember, is it episode 12 and 13 that we watched?
Get on with it, motherfucker.
No, I'm trying to remember. It's 12 and 13, right? Yeah, right?
It's your ass.
Yeah, 12 and 13.
So recently, as of late, there has been people that are trying to slander my name. And they're trying to say that I love Vladalina this, I love Vladalina that. And I told everybody, I said, tonight's the night. I'm going to prove it in a PowerPoint trademark presentation of why I don't love Vladalina Melise from 86. Now, I know many people, want to make fun of me because they think I love Vladalina, but I don't. As I behold, as you all will behold, the PowerPoint presentation. This
I'm excited.
is my PowerPoint presentation on why I do not love Vladalina Melise from 86. Created by SeaTactics. Also, hashtag support the SeaTactics. So, make sure to give this a like. If you're on Team SeaTactics here, don't want to be on that team whatever. So, what is Vladalina Melise? Well, she's the main character of 86. She's born in the Republic of San Magnolia. She's Alba. And she's the handler of the former Spearhead Squadron. Many people will know at the ending of the last season, the Spearhead Squadron, headed by Undertaker, was taken out, only to be revived, as we'll talk about here in a second. Also, 86 supporter. It's a very important plot point that she supports the 86. And she's a sweets enthusiast because she's an anime girl. And they all love sweets. Now, let's get to know Lena a bit better. Lena's personality. She's very youthful and inexperienced. She stands up for what she believes in and will spare no resource, even if it means that it's for the right cause. As we will all remember in Season 1, Vladalina valiantly took a lot of, it was the mortars. Basically
Drugs.
a bunch of, I don't think it was any drugs, but she used some of her power to stretch it a little bit. And she helped out the 86 at the end, even though it was for naught. The 86 still all died, only to be revived. We'll talk about it here in a minute. It's just great. She's, Lena's personality, very great. She also, has weak sides like showing up to meetings late with Annette. She gets embarrassed over borrowing all those military things, if we'll remember. She's just a very shy person, and it's Vladalina, not gonna lie, kind of great. But what I look for in a woman, a girl who, because this is important, because many of you people will say, oh, SeaTactics, like, you love Vladalina, and they don't even know. They don't even have a clue what I look for in a woman. Well, here is your official listing, officially from me, confirmed by my sources,
Whoa,
Barack Obama.
whoa. Why is that person naked?
That's Vladalina, EA.
Continue.
She's naked.
Why is she? I will say, why is she naked?
The only graphic I had, EA.
You could have found different. Okay.
What was on my hard drive? So what do I look for in a woman?
Bet.
A girl who can kick my ass. I mean, Spike Spiegel had it right. He got it right in the 90s. A girl that can... Satsuki agrees, right?
I got Lena whooping your ass.
I mean, we don't know that.
With that red streak, she'll own you.
But while I like someone who can kick my ass, I also like someone who's, that can be sweet. It's nice to have a little, first they're sweet, then first they're sour, then they're sweet. It's great. It's great, right? Also like girls with light hair. For example, like blonde, silver, and white. That's my hair. It's my hair color. It's what I look for, man.
All this shit is literally Lena.
I was
Moving
gonna
on.
say, everything that you're
Moving on.
reading is her.
Moving on.
You just described your
I also-
idealistic waifu with this slideshow.
Also, I like someone who can be fearless as well, but also somewhat aloof and a little bit distant. You want them to be a little bit mysterious. You don't want to know what they got planned. You don't know. You don't know. But you want to have somebody that's fearless, because you want to have somebody that can not only kick your ass, but also kick ass and take names. Also, people who stand up for what they believe in. This is a very valiant feature of a woman that would be for me. But also, someone who is idealistic, sometimes to a fault, but remains positive about the outlook no matter what.
Do you not read what you are seeing?
In what aspect does Lena does not embody the things that you named on this PowerPoint? Which point does she not follow?
I also like a girl that enjoys eating lots of food. Something, I like a girl that eats sweets. It shows that they're a sweet girl. It's really nice. So, moving on to my next slide. Now that we know all of this, so do I love Vladalina?
I mean, I think it's obvious. You literally just named everything that she is.
What do you think, Satsuki?
Yes, you love Lena.
Chat, what do you think? Do I, you know what? I should have put up a poll for do I love Vladalina or not.
Yeah, that would. There's not going to be a single no in that poll.
Except like
So-
C.
Yeah, C would be the only one.
So, do I love Vladalina? That is the question.
Drum roll.
I love Saber. And I'm going to tell you why I love
goodness.
Saber. She can kick my ass. She's kind and sweet. She has light hair, golden blonde, by the way. Beautiful. She's also fearless, but somewhat aloof. I mean, she can kick ass and take names, but she's also kind of a little bit distant and mysterious. She's King Arthur. She can't be telling people that she's King Arthur. Come on now. She also stands up for what she believes in. I mean, she went to battle for her country, and she paid the ultimate sacrifice. And not only that, but she's idealistic, sometimes to a fault, but she remains positive about it. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We're good. That's the whole point of Fate, man. It's a battle of ideals. And Saber is idealistic. And guess what? Guess what? If you look in the bottom right, I'm going to take the Discord. I'm going to move these names around. She loves to eat food. She's a food connoisseur.
All I learned from this PowerPoint is that you like Saber more than Lena. I did not learn that you didn't like, you dislike Lena or you weren't fond of her. It just showed me that you like Saber more, but you still love Lena. What
I
did we
agree.
learn?
I
agree.
love
Saber-
Saber.
Saber's your number one, while Vladalina is your number two.
Yeah, or something. She's probably in the top 5.
I mean, we can make we could do a future PowerPoint presentation on who's in my top 5. But let me tell you, Vladalina is not going to be anywhere near there. It's probably going to be like a bunch of different Saber faces. John Dark, Mordred.
Fate does have a lot of Saber faces, but it's okay. Okay, if C isn't going to step up, I'll step up. All right.
No. I got one more slide.
Okay.
Hashtag support the SeaTactics. Buy the KOA t-shirt
I
on
hate this guy.
Teespring. By the way, if you buy one of those KOA t-shirts, me,
This was a
EA, and
mistake.
Satsuki, we get a 3-way split. It's great. We become rich off you buying a KOA t-shirt. By the way, those KOA t-shirts, Satsuki's got one, I got one. They sexy. Also, become a patron or channel member to help support the channel. Give the podcast a like and share my videos out to help grow the SeaTactics. You know, we all want SeaTactics to be big YouTuber. Big, nice. So, as well, subscribe to my co-hosts. Links in the description for both of them. And as well, you know, just in general, everything you need to know is in the description.
Boo this man!
Boo.
Boo!
There's already dislikes on the video.
I just sat
Y'all
through a
in
PowerPoint
denial.
of pure denial.
Y'all, and
pure
you know you're in
deflection.
denial.
I don't know what was accomplished. I am disappointed. I've been bamboozled. You have ran this podcast to the ground with just false propaganda. We didn't leave with a different opinion. We all believe that you still love Lena.
No, we go to the previous slide here. I love Saber. That's what it says.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
don't-
I give you reasons. I give you reasons.
Why did you donate to Skinny? Kenny.
Should have bought one of those nice KOA shirts. You know what I'm saying? Support the SeaTactics. But thank you for the 50. That's going to all 3 of us too. Cause yeah. So, I mean, if you super chat as well, it goes to all of us.
Okay. It is time for Satsuki to Yuka to stand up and make a, make a statement. Listen, C may not admit it. I will admit it. Because I came into the second season of 86
oh my
with
god.
sort of a jaded mind because
Look at this slide.
all the anime I was watching, it kind of just made me not want to watch 86. But I rewatched the first season and I went into the second season, and the first episode, I don't know how many minutes into it, but I decided that, you know what? I'll admit it. I'm in love with Vladalina.
There you go. Satsuki.
Satsuki, the Yuka, Satsuki the Savage,
Amen.
Satsuki the Reactor, Satsuki of the many names is in love with Vladalina. I will get into why, but I will not cower away from my love for her. She's a very great character. I like her. And the red streak definitely did a couple of things for that. I'm a kill like kill fan. I love Ryuko, my toy. So the red streak definitely had an impact on that. But what I love most about her now is that she's not green anymore. It seems like she has found her way into navigating just politics in the military in general. Like she knows how to leverage a lot of what she has to getting into what she wants. She can blackmail people now. She can just straight finesse her way into getting what she needs. And, that's commendable. She wasn't like that before. She was very naive and whatnot, but, now Vladalina is she's pretty savvy to the whole thing. So
You know what?
I love her.
You know what, Satsuki? You know what, EA? Everyone in the chat that's angry. You know what? How about this? You all ask the tough questions. And in a future episode of KOA, I will answer those tough questions about Vladalina honestly. How about that?
They call her the Bloody Queen now. Like it's like they tailor made that episode for me. Like, yeah, you got it going on, Vladalina. Respect.
Macy's mom.
I wouldn't say I am in love with Vladalina, but I don't hate her either. At least I'll admit that. I think she's definitely a really cool character. In spring, was it spring? Yeah, I think it was spring, or maybe it was summer. It was one of those seasons of 2021. I voted her best waifu just because she was really one of the best written female characters of that season. And the same continues on in this series. But I will not stand for that goddamn lolly.
Frederica?
There's a lolly in this series.
Oh, Frederica's nice.
She ain't nice.
She is.
She tries to freaking twist people's those nuts into buying her stuff.
Well, yeah, well, she's watching TV. She shouldn't be watching TV.
I know.
She learning bad stuff early on.
It's not like I love her, but I think she's cool. Like she's okay. Like she's not one of my favorite characters, but I found it kind of funny how she got that from TV and then kept trying to incorporate it in like real life. How she kept trying to show her cute side to get whatever she wants from men. So like, hey, do what you got to do. If it works, it works. It worked twice in a row, so yeah.
I do notice both times that she did it, she was like very embarrassed for doing it. Her face was like really red and stuff, but
she's like a teapot.
But
I mean, Vladalina did the same thing.
I like characters, yeah.
Sizzle. She just blushed, didn't she? No, she did sizzle.
Yeah, that's a thing in the show.
They sizzle, but freaking. Now she's going with them on their fucking journey to throw the ring back into Mount Doom, and I'm just like, why is she even there?
Don't know.
I really thought that the inclusion of her was just so dumb. I love the original. Was it 5 or 6 people? I think it's 5. I can't remember. But
are we talking about the 86?
Yeah, the 86. Like we've already established that those people are great, but then all of a sudden the lolly's like, "Let's go, everybody!"
Oh,
freaking go, Diego, go!
do you think there's like more to like? I don't know. Like based on like the red eyes and whatnot, I think she has like, or at least other characters have more significance in the story than what they're letting on.
Yeah,
because
she's an alien too.
Yeah, she has a special power to where she said that she can see into people's past and futures. And it kind of relates to oh my god, the Reaper's the character to where he can hear these voices. He also has a special power, and based on them having the red eyes, I'm assuming that's like something to where, like, I don't know if those two characters are related, like brother and sister. They could be, but I feel like at least like they have some type of clan relation, kind of akin to like the Ackerman, for example, to where they have like this special ability to where these people with red eyes and black hair have these special abilities that other people don't have.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, I'm glad 86 is back. It's kind of funny because I thought all the 86 characters died. You know, obviously from the previous episode in the past season, but because, these are numeric, like if you saw these like in a row from 11 to 12, you'd be kind of let down because it's such an emotional scene. You think everybody's dead, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's just, oh, nope, they're okay. They're fine. But, I mean, I guess I didn't want them to die because, that would have been worse. What I'm
Yeah.
curious to know is what's going to happen when Lena finds out, your best girl finds out that the 86 are still alive.
Yeah, that's gonna be really. Oh, look, I got an email. The fuck? I don't think I've ever. What the fuck? Oh, hey, look, my Vladalina T-shirt just shipped.
Hey,
You're
I didn't
kidding.
I didn't know you had one of those.
Yeah, I ordered it last night.
You're kidding. You just okay.
I also ordered a Umai T-shirt, by the way. Umai, Rengoku on it. Great. Anyways,
You just did a whole PowerPoint presentation, and you're just nonchalantly, oh, I just got my
yeah, it's very
my
weird.
waifu shirt is being sent in the mail.
Very weird. It happens on this podcast, of all podcasts, but I mean that is what it. Like, I bought it, yeah, yesterday. I mean, so it's a nice T-shirt. Nice T-shirt. Pretty great. Also, Rengoku. Umai. Anyways, yeah, I thought it was a really cool twist, actually, to have the 86 actually be alive, because I totally believe, like, their death was convincing, because they got their heads cut off. So, I think this also has, like, their revival, and I guess their survival, I would say, has something really to do with something they've been bringing up in the past couple episodes, and that is how these communicator devices work, and how they don't know much about them, but as well, like, the secrets of the Legion itself. Like, why does Frederica have, like, these powers that has been passed down in her bloodline? Like, what happened to, what happened to Giad before, like, with the whole takeover and stuff? Like, there is so many questions that we need answers to, and I think them surviving literally being beheaded and killed is something like for example, it's like playing Mass Effect 2, but you don't play the first 2 hours of the game. Like, and you have to figure out why Commander Shepard is still alive, even though he's dead. So it's like it's like this really interesting idea, and I think the mystery surrounding that is one of the most compelling questions so far in the season.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting questions is trying to figure out where I don't know their names, where we have our characters like Sheen, Anju, like the country that they're in now. Like, are they actually good people or not? Because it's very confusing, because it seems like they're for the 86, and they're welcoming them as kindred spirits and brothers in arms, but there's something that feels like disingenuous about it, or like too good to be true almost. So I wonder where that's going to lead to. Are they going to actually be good people in the end, or are they going to be like, are they going to have some type of ulterior motive? I think that's like the big question. So far, it doesn't look like it's going to be that, but it could just be a red herring to it all. I'm not entirely sure.
Okie dokie, EA. That's fine. These shows are insanity. So, Hollow asks a really interesting question for me. FMK, Lena, Seba, Sakawa. So
Looking up Sakura right now.
So, well, Sakura Mato. I want to kill Sakura in this because she's like 15, but I don't know. She'd kill me, so it's like she'd annihilate me.
Okay, Sakura.
Marry Seba, smash Lena, and hope to survive Sakura if she lets me. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, Ernst is a very interesting guy. He seems to I just don't trust him, but at the same time, it seems like he is like a somewhat at least authentic guy in terms of wanting to give the 86 like actual like chances to be people.
Yeah, I feel like it comes from a more like dark place. Like he's not just doing it purely out of the kindness of his heart, but it is genuine in that he has good intentions. Like I think the maid said something, and I'm not looking through my screenshot, so I can't bring up what exactly she said. But to me, at least, it alluded to the fact that he's probably doing this out of guilt because maybe something happened to his actual family or something. So maybe that's why he's taking in everybody and he's doing right by them. So, that would kind of explain things away, because as it is now, I just can't believe that he's just doing things because he's a good person. I feel like it has to be something deeper to that.
Yeah, nobody does charity for free and because they want to. Unfortunately, that's the society we live in. Unless they really are like nice people, but nah, it's so that they get a tax write-off.
It's a fucking anime. You can't be a nice person purely.
Right, exactly. You gotta have. They're gonna go ahead and spend all their money and resources bringing these people back to life and saving them, and all because they want to be nice. No, there's more to it than that.
Everybody's freaking disappointed in me for some reason. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't.
Should be.
I mean, I stated my case, and like I love Saber. I mean, this has been well established, and I mean.
Oh my god, you literally had a Subaru moment, or I mean, Subaru moment.
Yes, not from the Katakawa properly.
Yeah,
this is a totally different Subaru.
The car, not the person.
Yes, the car that fell in love with the human girl. I mean, yeah. I mean, I like vladalina is the I'm just not gonna say it. Frederick Grandison says as well, like, what do you think Lena's reaction is going to be when Shin and the rest of the 86 show back up? I think that's going to be a killer. Oh, you did? Sorry. I was just busy reading the chat of people hating me for some reason. Like, I'm right. Like, I'm right. Why do you hate me? Like, I don't know.
No, I mean, well, I posed the question, really. It was just, that's going to be crazy whenever they meet, because, yeah, because Vladalina thinks that they're dead.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's more interesting to what they could potentially meet on the battlefield, because would they be on opposing sides or would they be on allied sides? Because this country, from what we know, is separate from the Legion. It's like they're also fighting the Legion, but are they opposed to the Republic? I'm not entirely sure. They don't really specify that too much.
Well, what are we going to give these 2 episodes for 86? I'm hardcore passing it. Some of the highlights for me were definitely the introduction of Frederica, the whole stuff with the 86 as well. I mean, they dedicated episode 13 to them. That was really great. And Vladalina was a highlight with her stuff. So
She's got highlights.
She does.
yeah, that's good. It's a good pun.
Can I say I still like Annette? Is that like blasphemy?
I mean, that's fine. Yeah.
Who's in that?
She's the one with the glasses, who was
Oh
like
yeah.
not a nice
Yeah.
person.
Oh. I like how she's not a nice person. It's someone you like. Okay.
Well, okay. My last thing to say about 86 is the fact that we didn't talk about it, but Elena had the emotion and whatnot, and she's maneuvering in a way that she could still do the things that's necessary, and she's also revered, it seems, by her team. We only seen one perspective of it. This one chick who called her queen and whatnot, but it's interesting to see like how the perspective on Lena has changed when it comes to how the 86 feel about her. So that's interesting. But yeah, pass.
Yes.
All right. So this is the end of the main show. We're gonna switch on over to Nakama Club. When we talk, I don't have any graphics for this because I didn't think to make any for some reason. So we're gonna talk about Berserk 1997 episodes 21 and 22. These are kind of like, in terms of the Golden Age arc trilogy as a whole, this is the starting of the penultimate ending, which is known as kind of like one of the greatest setups of an anime or manga series of all time, which is really what starts in episode 22 with Griffith and stuff. What did you think, EA?
Well, since this was 2 episodes, the first one was basically Guts came back, saved everybody. I knew Casca was gonna do it was because of you.
She loves saying that.
She sure did. She did that, and then I knew the feelings were real. I knew she was gonna fall in love with him. What I didn't know is that they were going to make sweet, sweet love right there in the middle of the forest.
Hey man, medieval times. You can get where you can get it.
I mean, I get it, but don't people I don't know, walk through the forest in this day and age?
I mean, who's gonna stop them though? It's Casca and Guts. Like, if I saw them having sex in the forest, I would just be like, okay, just walk
Normal.
away.
Yeah, that's one of those. They gave 0 fucks.
Oh man.
While
Oh
they
well.
were doing it.
Speaking of, I love the quote. Come with me. My love for you is like a truck.
I hate you.
Berserker. Berserker. Berserker.
It was a beautiful moment that you completely ruined for a fucking meme. I hope you feel proud of yourself.
That wasn't me. That was an outtake. It was an outtake from the
know.
dub.
We know. But they didn't know that until you said it just now. So you're a piece of shit.
We like to make fucking Berserker. Did she just say we like to make fucking?
EA, please continue your point.
So that happened, and Guts, and now Casca are a thing now, and they love each other. And I love the part when they were going to rescue Griffith, and it was one of those, look, don't let how you feel about me change the way that you feel, because I'm still your commanding officer. So that was just one of those, oh, okay, well, she's still gonna be in charge of them, of him, even though they love each other in that way now. But when they got to Griffith and they rescued him, oh my god!
Did you expect that to happen to him?
I mean, now it makes sense why he was screaming all the time from the dungeon. He was being tortured that whole time. But did I expect that? I expected him to be... I mean, I saw that they were stabbing him and whatever, but when you actually see how skinny he was and how malnourished and how he couldn't even speak, like, he wanted to choke Guts. and he couldn't even do it because he was so weak. I was just like, my God, he is the complete opposite of what he was when we were first introduced to him. And yeah, that was completely shocking to me. And I don't know if I like Griffith because he was kind of like sitting back, having this hate brew up in him and whatnot, basically saying what Casca was saying. It's because of you, and and I'm just like, why is everything Guts' fault? He didn't do anything wrong. Guts did nothing wrong. He was walking through. He was a hired assassin, and all he wanted to do was walk through life and just be left alone. But they couldn't do that to him. They had to go ahead and mess with him and fall in love with him and have hate for him and all this other shit. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like Guts is just trying to live his normal life, and all these people want to hate him for no reason. But yeah, Guts went absolutely bonkers whenever he saw Griffith in that state. Because he asked that one guy, "Did you do this?" He was like, "Yes, I did it. And now I locked this door, and you can never come." I'm like, he's going to bust that door down, and he is going, sure enough, he got impaled and then just slid off into oblivion.
That guy was the greatest.
That
You can't break these doors. It's 4 times stronger than. Oh, wow.
That is pretty much like, there are so many bad guys throughout Berserk that do that thing to Guts, and Guts is like, all right, okay, time to slice you in half.
Right, and then
what did he expect to happen?
It's easy when he can beat up on a guy that can't defend himself and is chained up and everything. Then he's gonna go ahead and talk shit to a guy who is literally built like the Hulk and has a giant ass sword, and he's gonna say, "Yeah, you can't go. No, you run the opposite direction." When that happens,
yeah, I just don't get it. Like, why provoke someone into doing? Like, I'm not going to even provoke someone into thinking they have those abnormal powers. I'm not going to give you the motivation. I'm just going to be like, oh shit, you guys are trapped. I might act like an ally or something. I'm not going to provoke you.
Exactly. So yeah, he just mowed through a bunch of people. They made their escape, and I wanted to see the next episode so bad, but I was a good boy and I decided to wait. So it's just getting real exciting, and now there's like creatures in this world now. Like there was like a fairy and this weird demon looking thing. I'm like, whoa, this turned into a completely different. Again, if I didn't watch the first episode, I wouldn't think that. But like, if you were to start from episode 2 and keep going, that would be a complete like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? Why is this happening?
Listen, EA. And for anybody in the chat, this is going to be a semi-spoiler. Okay. The fuck.
I saw that.
That fairy that you seen in the latest episode, I am not kidding when I say this. That fairy that you seen in Guts had one of the best fights in the manga, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
With that fairy?
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
And it was one of the best fights I've seen in the manga.
No, everything you see in that sequence is in the manga, like every single creature you see, right? Because the first guy was the slime slug guy. He was like the first 30 or 40 chapters of like that they cut from this anime adaptation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's becoming crazy now. I'm just like, what is going on? There has to be a reason behind it, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is now.
Yeah, I won't speak into their like appearance, like why they appeared or whatnot, but I'll ask you, what do you think will come of, since we successfully saved Griffith, what happens to the Band of Hawk now?
I think they're gonna be mortified. I mean, they knew Griffith as this individual who was strong and smart leader, and just was someone that they could rely on. Now they're gonna see him in that state. I honestly don't know how they're gonna react to him, because I think that's definitely going to have an effect on their mental, I guess, like just as a group altogether. They're not going to know what to do, because now that they see that Griffith is in that state, and the fact that all these weird ass demons are popping up everywhere, I don't think it's looking good for them.
Hmm.
I think that's gonna make it to where they'll probably split up even more. I don't know. Maybe they'll probably blame Guts somehow, like they always do, especially Corcus.
My God, I I can't lie to you. I mean, I've said it already before, so you guys kind of understand my perspective. But man, when I tell you my whole perspective changed on Corcus, like I I hated this guy when I first read it, and it's not like he is more likable on this rewatch. He's not at all. Like he's still the same guy. It's just that my mindset has changed when it comes to like appreciating his perspective, because he always gives you this different perspective that you can honestly see. It's not like out of left field or anything. From his perspective, when it comes to Guts being re-assimilated into the Band of the Hawk, he's like, I mean, you weren't here when things were really, really bad for us. You were gone. I mean, really, to be real, you were the cause of why everything turned to shit. You're the reason why Griffith ended up losing his way, and that led to us being pursued by the kingdom and whatnot. So he doesn't really fuck with Guts being back into the crew. And honestly, I appreciate that. Like you know, given that we get Guts' perspective, we understand why he did it, why he's doing what he's doing. But from someone who doesn't even really give a fuck about Guts' perspective, it makes sense as to why he thinks this way. Some people probably feel the same way as Corcus, but they won't say it.
Right. Yeah, that's just I don't know. Even that kind of like bothered me too. Like, so really, the whole reason why everything went to shit was because he left. I mean, they can't be big boys about this and just respect the fact that Guts wanted to do his own thing. But oh no, Griffith decided to go and have sex with the princess. It's all, at some point you're gonna have to take some self accountability. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And realize that maybe you should not have done what you did, freaking Griffith. But that's just me.
Yeah, Guts doesn't deserve the blame, but he still, in spite of that, is the cause. Like
Which
that
is
can't be,
such a shame.
yeah, you that can't be lost in it, because I think that's why you have the moments with him and Casca, and why she was so angry. It's because she has this anger that can't really be placed anywhere in a justifiable manner, because she wants to be angry at Guts, but in his perspective, it's just like he's following what he wants to do, and it goes back to what it kind of started because of Griffith, what he said to the princess about how he doesn't see anybody as a friend, if they're following in his shadow or whatnot. He sees someone as a friend when they're following their own ambitions, and that led to Guts wanting to do his own thing, and that
Right.
led into Griffith fucking up
Right.
ultimately. So like when it comes to characters like Casca and Corcus, like I was just talking about, it's like it's not like Guts was wrong for what he was doing. He wasn't morally wrong or anything like that. It's just that he was the cause, but you can't blame him for that. He was just living his life pretty much.
Right. Right. And like I said, it just makes Griffith out to be a hypocrite, and just very much contradicts everything that he said to the princess. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, yeah, maybe next time mean what you say instead of trying to show off for the princess just because you want to get some. You know what I mean?
You always just blow into a leaf.
Tell me about it. That's the way to anyone's heart.
And then after that, and after you say that, you just go, women.
God, I love that quote. Multi-purpose.
It worked for Guts. He got the girl.
Did.
Yeah, but he kind of had to get stabbed first.
Yeah,
Dude,
but it's Casca.
Right. And she was even shocked. Why did you not move? It's like why were you even trying to stab him if you didn't want to do that? I don't get it. No wonder Guts says women.
Oh Lord. Any final thoughts on episodes 21 to 22 of Berserk, and which theories for the next couple episodes? Because oh boy.
It's just that it was great. I wanted to keep watching, but like I said, I'm gonna wait it out for these next couple weeks, and I cannot freaking wait to see what happens next. Just because, like I said, Griffith is in that state now. There's weird ass demons coming out into the world now, and apparently a fairy is going to give Guts one of the best fights ever. So I mean, it's probably not going to be animated, but still.
Was it animated in 2017 or 2016?
No, they completely skipped over it. That's why
Of
I'm
course.
so disappointed in that.
Of course they did.
Yeah, but I'm so looking to see what happens, and the more I keep watching it, the more I'm just like, they should really one of these days do like I don't know, like an adaptation where they have better animation and just make it more like
that's
to
what we've been asking for.
Right, and I feel bad for the manga fans now because I never knew before because I never watched Berserk, but now my heart definitely goes out to y'all because if that's like basically getting Lord of the Rings and you get the Fellowship of the Ring and it's gorgeous, and then you get the Two Towers and it's a CG awful garbage piece of shit, which I'd be pissed too. I would be like, you took something and ruined it.
Yeah, I mean, this and the Golden Age Arc trilogy movies are the only good things that have been adapted. Otherwise, it's 2016 and 2017, and then I mean, even as manga fans, like we don't even know if we're gonna get the ending. So, it's like
right, and that's another thing on top of all that is that the manga didn't even finish because the creator died. Which that's just horrible any way you look at it.
Yeah, he's young too, mid-50s, or maybe early 50s, maybe even.
Yeah, it just seems like it seems like it's gonna be a Game of Thrones thing where it's never going to end. They're gonna spend years trying to fucking finish it, and then it's just gonna eventually the creator's gonna die before they even end the series.
I think they'll one day adapt this series and give it an actual good adaptation. It's gonna be a while. Maybe I'm gonna put it out there. I bet, however much, I don't know, that in the next 5 years there's gonna be some sort of adaptation of Berserk again.
I feel like if
it's good, I don't know. But
I'm not doubting that it happens. I just doubt that when it happens or if it happens that I probably won't care about anime by then.
oh my god, are we killing your love for anime?
Yes. I have probably like 2 years left in the tank of caring about anime.
2 years, holy shit!
Well, yeah, that means
if we consistently get like seasons like this where we're covering like 7 anime, I will 100% not give a shit about anime. Like I'm probably going to just move on to some obscure shit. Like you're probably going to force me into watching like rugby or something.
Can we talk about Odd Taxi now?
Let's talk about Odd Taxi.
Oh.
What'd you think of the episodes?
Oh my god, these episodes were great. I love that Dobu gets shot, and he's like, he just needs to give this guy a lecture about life, and it's
Oh
while
my
he's
god, that's one of
bleeding.
the best moments in the series.
It was great because it was like real, because he was like, Dobu was like being his therapist, and he's like, why are you doing it? And he's like, I don't know, I just want views and attention and stuff. And he's like, no, we're gonna talk about this like right now. When I just got shot and I'm bleeding out, I could have shot an artery. But no, here we are. And he's like, yeah, I do this for like whatever reasons he said. And it was like really these deep existential reasons that made me go, do I do YouTube for this reason? And then I don't, of course, but I hope. But it was just like it was a really cool commentary on people like that. This is a really cool moment.
Just a great message, like Dobu is just a cool character. Like he's just a fucking thug that works for the Yakuza. He's trying to earn money, but like then he'll have a moment like this to where he's literally lecturing this guy mid gunshot wound. Like for him to even have
he's bleeding out.
Yeah, he's not exactly bleeding out, but like he's in fucking pain, but he's like, let me drill some knowledge into this guy while still extorting him, because at the end of the day he ends up with his apartment, his car, and getting an apology from him and having him post it on social media, on YouTube or whatever the fuck type of site they have on this show, because you can't actually name it YouTube. But yeah, like he does all of that in one day. Like Dobu has to get a lot of respect, because like you end up teaching this guy a valuable lesson, take a gunshot wound, you still follow through with this plan. Yeah, you deserve my respect.
Also, she uses capoeira for self-defense.
Yeah.
The joke paid off,
and it worked.
Oh my god,
that was the best scene in the 2 episodes we watched.
I want to say there's a lot of good scenes in here, but yeah, freaking producer man wants to go ahead and choke out Otokawa, and then here comes Llama to the rescue, and that was awesome. That was pretty cool. Like I wasn't expecting that. She even did it in high heels too.
It was the music and everything. Just the rock comes through, and then you just hear her screaming, "Come on out!" And then you're like, "Oh shit!" And then you hear the music, and then you see the fucking dance, and then he comes out of the car like, "What the fuck? What are you doing? I'm gonna just choke you out." And then she delivers a ass whooping to be remembered by every descendant that she has. Just one kick to the head and it's over.
And I just love how immediately after that the guy was just like, I'm sorry. Like, you just tried to kill Otokawa and that's all you could say? Yeah,
I don't know what else to be. I don't know what else could be said at that point.
Right,
he got utterly defeated.
That's my bad. That's my bad. I won't do that again. Jesus.
Oh man, I love Shirakawa.
Yeah.
She's pretty good, and that's when, because of her, not only was Otokawa saved, but he found out, or had an epiphany, I guess. Oh shit. That's how the guy found me. He put a tracking device in my car and he found it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I cannot wait for that tracking device to come into play. I can just tell it's going to create like this amazing... Like, the most recent episode we watched, episode 9, already was like action-packed and just fantastic. One of the best episodes probably a VOD taxi that I've watched. And then now we have like this GPS in play. Like what? Like what the hell is gonna happen in the next episodes? Like it's insanity.
They have freaking, they have a bank robbing heist coming to play. They even have the name of the plan, which is the title of the freaking show, Odd Taxi.
Yeah.
Which is just like, oh my gosh.
It's just I think the reason why I love this show is just because of how things play out very organically. Like you could tell it was a lot of thought put into the series, in that
Oh, absolutely.
like it's like a domino effect. Like one thing leads to another. It doesn't feel like something just comes out of the woodworks arbitrarily because like we got to have a plot twist here. Like let's introduce this thing. No, it's like everything leads into another plot point some way somehow. Like everything connects in some way. The way these characters are intertwined is just like perfectly woven into the story. So like I said, it was a lot of thought put into the series, and I cannot wait specifically till we get to the last episode, but these next two episodes are going to be pretty great as well.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a series that just gets progressively better and better and better.
Yeah, and it's even better watching it on the second time. After you watch it the first time, you're like, "Oh, that's great," and then you go ahead and you rewatch it. You notice things that you didn't notice the first time around, and after you finish it, maybe give it a rewatch because
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
It is 100% worth it, and I can't say that about a lot of shows. Like this show is something that is so much better in hindsight, and that's pretty amazing to do. I watched this show, not when it was airing, but shortly after it finished, in the spring season, and for me to be like this gung ho about rewatching it, like the turnaround for me, like finish watching it to like talking about it on the podcast now, it wasn't a big turnaround. It was like maybe 2 months or so, but the show was so great that rewatch for me, I felt like it was kind of needed just to appreciate the show in its full capacity. Like I'm like,
I agree.
yo, this show is like great. I can't even like say like what specifically I like about some parts because I don't want to spoil anything for C, but yeah, this show is great in hindsight. It's great on the first watch, and yeah, got some good things coming.
Well, I don't want to keep EA and Satsuki any longer, so we're gonna end the show here. But
We got 80%.
Yeah, and
80%.
Odd Taxi. Yeah.
Well, only 5 people voted. But
Doesn't matter.
EA, where can they find you?
All right. Well, you can find me over at Everything Animated. I should be working on something here pretty soon that'll have it out for all y'all. Twitch, hoping to get back on the Twitch game. And of course, my All Elite Couple channel, where me and my girlfriend talk about wrestling. We do reactions. We do all kinds of fun podcast blibbity blobbities. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was great. Satsuki, you have to read yours since I read mine yesterday. This is going to be
Oh
great.
my god, can I even read? Okay, let's try this. Just warning, I'm impaired right now, but let's try this. Okay, so Sasuke the Savage, lover of things that will kill him. Sasuke the Savage produces anime content on his YouTube page, but since he's washed or drunk most of the time, okay, okay, I see you see the predictor of things. But since he's washed or drunk most of the time, he tweets about the latest sports games on his Twitter. Okay, that one you didn't get right, but I respect it. Born and raised in Florida, Sasuke the Savage rose to prominence when he commented on Glass Reflections video, asking him to come on the King of Anime podcast. While Arcada ignored him, Satsuki, not giving up, gave up. Okay. it's it started? I'm not drunk. That says started. Started down a dark path of Yuri manga and vodka. If you see Satsuki on the street, make sure to pat him on the back. Don't do that. Tell him you love him and make sure to ask him about the latest chapter of Citrus. I don't remember what happened last chapter of Citrus because we don't get chapters, but that was a beautiful end screen for me.
It says Citrus Plus.
Citrus Plus.
Yes.
I
yes.
I guess I'll just start since I read that. Citrus Plus like has no we don't even have a new chapter this month. Citrus Plus, Saburo Uda doesn't love us. We barely get new chapters, so I'm having to deal with that. I'm having to deal with Kakaguri withdrawal. A lot of my favorite series are in the mud, except for like Watamote. But yeah, we push through. But guys, I am Satsuki the Savage. You can follow my YouTube channel, Satsuki the Savage, or if you want to look at my live reactions, Satsuki Reactor. I actually started recording for part 5 of JoJo, but you won't see those videos into a very long time. So don't expect anything on that channel. Just know I didn't forget about it. So that's all I want to say.
Thanks everybody for watching. Holy shit. It's the longest podcast we ever done.
Yep.
Bye.
Later.